Guys, good morning. Welcome to the channel. This is Niladri Mukherjee and I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. I practice here in Guelph, Ontario. I've been getting a couple of questions quite repeatedly these days regarding the visit visa or the tourist visa or the temporary resident visas of Canada. Hence, I just thought to make a quick video to address them once for all because these are obviously the most common questions, like 2 or 3 questions that I get the most these days. And in my opinion, these are all relevant questions and hence this video. The number one question is the travel history. So there are 2 segments of question that I get. I have not traveled at all and this is my first international country that I'm planning to visit. What is the acceptance or what is the chances of acceptance of my visa? And the second set is that I have visas to so and so countries, like a long list of countries. I have traveled to UK, I have traveled to US and I have all these visas. Then does it really make it easy for me to get the visa? And the short answer to that is, again, back to my previous video. You have to understand what the law says and what the regulation says. And neither the law nor the regulations talk about the travel history as an influencing factor for your, for the potential visa decision. And what I meant by that is, you may have traveled to all the countries in the world, and if your application, for a tourist visa to Canada is not well put together, your application could be rejected. And on the contrary, if you have not traveled to anywhere in the world, and if this is the first country that you're visiting, and you're able to put together a super strong, well-made application, to the point, perfect application with a very strong letter of explanation, your application will be rejected. So it all boils down to the individual case-specific nature of the application. Well-made applications would always have higher chances of acceptance. And there is a Supreme Court ruling that says that travel history cannot really influence the decision of an officer. So a travel history solely cannot be an influencing decision for an officer, right? Either to accept or to reject an application. Surely, if you have visas to the US, if you have visas to Australia, UK or New Zealand, all those information sharing countries, Canada tries to think that you might not have any criminal background, you might not have done anything incorrect in your life, which is why those countries have given you the visas. Having said that, Canada will do its own due diligence, its own research before giving you the visa, and will obviously look at the application in totality rather than looking into that specific travel history part in silo. So with travel history, without a travel history, does not have a material impact on the possibility of acceptance or rejection. It all boils down to how strong that particular application is. So that is number one. Secondly, the proof of fund, or the money that you should have in your bank account at the time you apply the visa, right? What is the minimum amount? How much money should I have in your bank, in my bank account? It's a very rational question in my opinion, but at the same time, what you have to really understand is that the money that you have in your bank account, this is what I tell all my clients, the money that you have in your bank account should make sense to you. Should make sense to you in the sense that, do you have enough money to, to purchase a flight ticket, to purchase a return flight ticket? Do you have enough money to ensure that even after you purchase a flight ticket, you still have enough money to incur, your expenses here in Canada? So if you think you do have enough money, then you do have enough money, and you have to prove that you have enough money, right? In the form of your bank statement, in the form of maybe your shares, or any form of liquid statement, such as mutual fund or whatever that is, right? So first of all, it has to make sense to you, and there is no such definite figure. And the simple reason for that is, for example, if you're coming from a nearby countries to Canada, which has a very low airfare, for example, if you're coming from, say randomly, say for example, if you're coming from, say Dominican Republic, the airfare that you pay for your to and fro ticket would be way less as compared to if you're coming from countries such as Pakistan, or if you're coming from anywhere in Southeast Asia or Asia or even Middle East, right? So obviously it varies from case to case. Obviously, the more the better. But there is no such definite figure that you have to have like $10,000 or $5,000 or even $15,000 in your bank account at the time you apply for the visa. There is no such number. It has to make sense to you. You should know whether that money is sufficient or not. Do your research, calculate the airfare, calculate like a potential expenditure that you think you will incur in Canada, and then you will be able to convince that officer, right? So it really varies again from case to case. The third factor is that how likelihood of me getting the visa if I work with a consultant or if I work with a lawyer vis-a-vis if I work on my own. Again, it depends, right? If you think you know the law, you know the regulations, you are welcome to do that on your own. But if you are concerned that, these days, obviously the rejection rate is higher, particularly if you're applying it from somewhere in Asia, and if you do not want to take any chances, then you might as well work with a licensed professional or a lawyer. So it really depends on you, what is your comfort level is. My only general suggestion to you in this case is that if you think you are confident, only then you do it. Do not make an application just for the sake of doing it, thinking that, well, it's just a visit visa, it will be accepted anyways. It does not. And a single rejection on your history to Canada, be it a temporary resident visa or a permanent residency rejection or whatever, makes it that much difficult for your potential visas, for your future visas to be accepted. Because it does not matter whether you first do the application on your own, and then after getting the rejection, then you thought to hire a licensed professional and work with them. The licensed professional will find that much difficult to rectify the mistake that might have happened in the first place and then make a perfect application. So it's simple. If you think you are confident, do it on your own, but again, do it properly. If you think you are not confident enough, you might need a help. Take that help from day one rather than facing a rejection and then taking a help. This is what I see the most often. People come to me and when they have like multiple rejections. I do have people coming to me when they're applying for the visa for the first time, and I'm glad to work with them, and I'm also glad to work with anybody with multiple rejections. But having said that, as I have already said in my previous video as well, do not just do something for the sake of doing, even if you have slightest of doubt in your mind. Always clear that maybe you want a professional consultation, have the application reviewed, and then make the application. So visit visa is definitely one of the, I would say, again, not an easiest, but definitely one of the fastest way to get to Canada these days. If you want to explore the country a little bit before making a decision whether you would like to immigrate here, whether you would like to work here, or simply you're coming here for a tourism, visit visa is a great opportunity. Canada gives you the visit visa or a temporary resident visa for a period of 10 years or the validity period of your passport, whichever is sooner for the most countries. So if your passport expires in 2032, for example, then you get a visit visa for 10 long years. This is a superbly long time for you to have a visa on your passport. With one single entry, you are allowed to stay for a maximum period of 6 months, again for most of the countries, which is also a long enough time to explore the country if you want, see and meet its people around. You meet the employers if you potentially need a job offer from one of the Atlantic employers or like whatever in Canada. So this is a good opportunity if you need my professional assistance with your temporary resident visas to Canada, with your visit visas to Canada. Kindly send me an email, contact@nuvonation.ca, and I shall be more than happy to work with you. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.